What's up, everybody? Last week we talked about the different metas in Warzone: long range, close range, sniper support. That's what we talked about last week. I'll link all those down below if you want to check those out for yourself. But with the arrival of Season 3 a week and a half ago, plus the revival of Verdansk, the change in the TTK, the movement speeds, and some other changes to make it more of an original experience, the perk meta has changed as well. So today we're going to look at the perks. We're not going to give you a definitive perk loadout, but we're going to talk about in each category what perks you should and shouldn't be using. So let's go ahead and jump to the loadout screen. Okay, so now we're looking at perk 1 slot here. So first of all, we have low profile, move more quickly while crouched and prone. Enemies you kill will not have death markers for their allies, move slightly faster from down. Kind of niche. The more quickly while crouched or prone is good if you're going to rat out in buildings, which in Verdansk a lot of people do, but not really useful to niche. You have Veteran, which reduces the negative effects of some enemy equipment while aiming down sights, reduces flinching, and extends hold breath duration. Maybe for sniping, that's good. You also have immunity to Grenadier, snapshots, and resistant to flash gas, movement, and shock negative effects. So once again, a little niche, some use, maybe a little better while sniping to reduce flinching and extend hold breath duration. But for everyone else, it's really only useful for the flash, gas, movement, and shock negative effects. But even then, those are still niche, and for the most part, you can kind of outplay that without a perk. Then we have Reflexes, which triggered explosives have a delay while sprinting past them, creates an audible warning of nearby enemy equipment, reset fuse timers, and pick up live grenades. Not super great, although there's a lot of people running spring mines in Verdansk right now. Other than that, it's not really too useful, and I just think there's better uses in the slot. Grenadier, explosive damage slows an enemy health regen and movement speed. Now, Veteran makes you immune to that, so there's a counter to it. Plus, throwing equipment further and seeing a preview of the trajectory is okay. The throwing equipment further is maybe better if you're running C4s, but outside of C4s, that doesn't help too much. And seeing a preview of trajectory is just something that you would learn on your own as you play. Then we have Mountaineer, take less fall damage. J-God's tested it. People have tested it. It still doesn't add enough benefit to be really useful. It does have some use, but it's not super duper useful. Then we have Scavenger, start equipped with maximum reserve ammo for your primary weapon, which is good. Resupply ammo, equipment, plates, and cash from dead enemies. In this plate economy, which they said they're going to fix, I expect that fix to be like mid-season. In this plate economy, the Scavenger is useful for that, and the cash is good too to get people back. Ammo, equipment, so-so, and max primary ammunition from loadout acquisition only. Then we have Survivor, which is what I run. Survivor, start regenerating health more quickly. Your allies revive you faster when down. Health regen begins after 3 seconds. So you get health back faster. I really think it's between Survivor and Scavenger. In this TTK, getting that health back faster is definitely helpful, but it does take 3 seconds to get that regen, so not ultra helpful. Scavenger is good. Like I said, plates and money are hard to find, and Survivor is good just to help keep you alive. Those are the 2 perks that I would consider in perk 1. Moving on to perk 2, you have reactive armor. Your armor will regenerate 50% of its maximum if you have not taken damage in the last 5 seconds. That can be useful, but it's just not quite effective enough. Maybe if it was in the last 3 seconds, you could match it with Survivor and get health and armor regenning on its own within 3 seconds, but it's not quite strong enough. You have Quartermaster, recharge equipment over time. This can be good, for especially since smokes are the meta, smokes or stims, but to get those back more quickly. This is definitely better in solos, but there's a lot of ammo caches around. You can buy ammo boxes. So it's a decent perk to consider, but not the direction I would go. Then you have Bomb Squad, which reduces incoming explosive and fire damage. Paired with Veteran, you can avoid getting hurt by a lot of stuff, but spot enemy equipment and kill streaks through walls. Once again, not terrible, because a lot of people are using spring mines currently, and you can hack them, but you can hack enemy equipment. ADS to highlight equipment for your squad does not reduce kill streak damage. It can be useful. I just think there's better perks. Tracker, which is what I'm currently running. You can see enemy footsteps, which is good for when you're chasing people. Bullets you fire briefly outline an enemy for you and your squad, which is really good because of the smoke meta. So whether that's they throw smoke and you already have them outlined, or there's smokes you just start shooting until you find them and then they get outlined, it shows you exactly where they are in the position they're standing, proning, crouched in. And hitting the enemy from farther away increases the time they are outlined, and enemies that you down are automatically pinged. So being able to see where enemies are, especially with the smoke meta, is good. Now, when they're behind a wall, it takes away that outline, but with the smoke meta, this is a really good counter to it. Plus, tracker is good for the footsteps when you're chasing people down. Then we have Sprinter, where you can tack sprint indefinitely. you can just pull out your melee for this. If you're someone who feels like they get caught a lot with their melee out and you want to avoid that, sprinter is good because you can sprint with a weapon out. You can attack sprint indefinitely, but from an indefinite attack sprint standpoint, you could just pull your knife out. So it's decent. Cold-blooded, undetectable by AI targeting and thermal optics, prevents some enemy recon perks and effects. So you're immune to anything that would identify you except UAVs. That's Ghost, which is in perk 3, which we'll talk about. So it can be useful, but I just once again think there's better perks. And then you have Quick Fix. Killing players or inserting armor immediately starts health regen. If you want to use this, I wouldn't run Survivor. I would definitely go Scavenger in perk 1. And then Quick Fix works. But I would go with Tracker, Quartermaster, or Quick Fix. And once again, Quick Fix, then definitely don't run Survivor in perk slot 1. But Tracker, Quartermaster, or Quick Fix is where I go for perk 2. Then for perk 3, we have Gung Ho, reduced movement penalties when reloading or using equipment, reload while attack sprinting. I've been running that for a while. It's decent. Being able to reload while attack sprinting is nice if you're being really aggressive. It's more of a Rebirth perk, but I think it's good. Resolute, taking damage from gunfire, provides a boost to movement speed for a short duration, 50% movement speed bonus. With the really short TTK, Resolute does not come into play as often as you would hope it would. So I keep looking down because I have a timer for something cooking. But taking damage from gunfire, that was good when the TTK was longer. Maybe if the ranked TTK is longer, Resolute will be good for ranked, but right now it's not very useful. Then you have Ghost, undetectable by enemy radar pings while moving. So we don't have procs or the portable radars anymore, but this keeps you off of UAVs. Unless somebody has the next perk, Bird's Eye, or if they pop an advanced UAV, you'll still show up. It just won't be a directional arrow. Then for Bird's Eye, UAVs you call in are 25% larger and show the heading of the enemy of your squad, detects players with Ghost. So if Ghost becomes the real meta, it'll be really good for Ghost. But other than that, it's not too big of a deal. I mean, the 25% larger UAV is nice maybe if you're being really aggressive. And showing the heading of the enemy, so that's the direction they're facing, I don't think is as useful as showing an elevation arrow, which it doesn't show when you get that get the heading showing. It would show players with Ghosts as elevation, but I'd prefer the elevation over the direction they're facing. Then you have Tempered, where you need 2 plates instead of 3 plates to fill up your armor all the way. In this plate economy, it's the perk I would recommend the most, because plates are hard to find. Plus, if you're trying to stay in fights, you can plate up quicker and stay in that fight. And so Tempered's really useful. And then Alertness, sense when enemies are nearby, tell when you're being aimed at by an enemy. This is not as good as old High Alert. It doesn't highlight your screen as much. I've heard moving in your HUD boundaries, which you can do in the settings, makes Alertness better because it'll show the orange more. But what's really good here is it's somewhere between 20 or 30 meters. It will just say enemy nearby on your screen. So Alertness is good for that, especially if you're playing solos or when we get ranked and it's going to be really campy. It'll tell you when you're in the vicinity of an enemy, which I think is really good. So when we're looking at perk 3, I'm looking at Ghost to stay off of radars while you're moving. Kind of Bird's Eye, Tempered, or Alertness. I would, if you could only pick 2, I'd go with either Tempered or Alertness. Preferably Tempered in this plate economy. When plates change, maybe go Alertness, move in those HUD boundaries a little bit, get a little more of a highlight of an orange. Or maybe Bird's Eye, get the bigger UAVs if you're really trying to be aggressive and find a lot of people, which can be hard mid-game in Verdansk. That 25% larger UAV is really nice. So just to go over things one more time, perk 1, go Scavenger or Survivor. Perk 2, go Quartermaster, Tracker, or Quick Fix, but not Quick Fix if you have Survivor. Maybe Cold-Blooded, although I would recommend Quartermaster, Tracker, or Quick Fix. And then for perk 3, Ghost maybe, Bird's Eye maybe, but really Tempered or Alertness. That's how I see the perks currently in Verdansk. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you like this type of content, want to see it first. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch or hang out live on Twitch, my link is down below, as well as my other social medias and my single player channel if you want to check me out or support me anywhere else. But I will see you on Verdansk. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.